Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight we're diving deep into the stories that the mainstream media is just too afraid to touch. Before we get started, I want to remind you that this show isn't just about me talking at you. It's about us together, uncovering the truth. Throughout the broadcast, we'll be interacting with you, our viewers, in the live chat. Your reactions, your insights, they're not just welcome, they are essential, so keep those comments coming. Now, here's something that the tech giants don't want you to do. Share the stream. That's right. Take out your phone right now and text the link. That's right. Text the link to this broadcast to everyone you know. Why? Because doing so, you're bypassing their algorithms, their censorship, and their control. You're striking a blow for free speech and real journalism. And speaking of real journalism, we're not just on YouTube. We are streaming live to millions worldwide. We're on Rumble. We're on X as well. So if you haven't already, follow us on those platforms because let's face it, in this age of cancel culture, you never know when the powers that be might try to silence us. Now let's talk about what's coming up on tonight's show. We've got a lineup that would make CNN's head spin. We're talking about a smear campaign against TENET Media, the shocking Kamala Harris hit and run allegations that actually a viewer specifically requested, and the Walls family drama that's tearing apart the Democrat ticket. But that's not all. We've got exclusive polling data that shows Trump surging ahead. And wait till you hear about the former TMZ star who has just defected to Team Trump. And it's an interview you do not want to miss. And here's something else you don't want to miss. Tomorrow night, I will be at Trump Tower, Chicago, with General Mike Flynn. I'm a featured speaker alongside George Papadopoulos, and we are screening a new movie about Hunter Biden. You can check my X feed for the details. And here are the images of the flyers that we have just posted there. General Mike Flynn will be there with myself and George Papadopoulos. It is the inaugural reception of the Christian Orthodox Coalition. So if you want more details, go to my X feed. But here's the thing, folks. Shows like this don't come cheap. We need your support to keep bringing you the truth. So there's a donation link in the description. And if you value what we do, if you want to see real unfiltered news continue, consider making a contribution. Now let's dive into tonight's stories. Buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride on the Raw Feed. But first, I want to welcome you to the program. Let's see who is here tonight. Joe Carroll and Short You and Maria are in the house. Greg and, of course, Nightbot and Pothead Kenny is here. We've got Madge MC. Ralph is here. Juan, Joanna, Maria, our Boyd Bumblebee. OMG, are you on the next news? Yes, I am, Bumblebee. Yes, I am. We got Randy here, Jose, we got Joy and Scott, SK567 is here, Cheryl and Maria, the gang is all here. And while you are here, type into the chat where you're watching from. Give a shout out to your hometown, your state, your country, wherever you are. We like to give everybody an idea of just how broad this broadcast really is. Okay, so we got some news we got to get into tonight. It's late. We have been at the news feeds all day, and we've been collecting everything just for you. And of course, our first story is quite a shocker. Folks, the deep state's at it again. This time they are going after TENET Media, home of conservative powerhouses Benny Johnson and Tim Pool. The DOJ claims Russian money is behind it all, but here's what they don't want you to know. This is a blatant attempt to silence independent voices. We've got the real story, and trust me, it's not what you're hearing from the mainstream media. So stay tuned as we expose this new sinister plot, but we've heard this story before. Now, as we expose the truth about the attack on TENET Media, it's crucial to protect your own financial future from manipulation. The national debt has surpassed $35 trillion, with the government borrowing just to pay interest. Meanwhile, gold has reached record highs. Just as we fight for truth in media, you need to safeguard your wealth. Don't let mainstream narratives fool you with diversifying. Don't let mainstream narratives fool you. Diversifying with precious metals is key. So if you have funds sitting in a low-interest bank account or a 401k, IRA, retirement account, you need to call my friends at Global Gold Investments, America's leading conservative precious metals dealer, and receive absolutely free their new 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Call that number you see on the screen, 888-700-4148, and mention Next News and receive their 5-star customer treatment along with their complimentary portfolio analysis. Operators are standing by. Call that number, 888-700-4148, or visit IRAGoldproof.com. Remember, if you don't have gold, then you don't have wealth. Now, let's jump right into it, shall we? This is the news that is breaking the feeds today. We've got it all lined up for you. So, the smear campaign is underway. Tim Pool has already reacted. And what's interesting, Caitlin Collins, of course, the mainstream media attack dog, she's already pushing this narrative throughout the mainstream media. 4 hours ago, among the commentators listed on TENET Media's website are right-wing personalities Benny Johnson and Tim Pool. Both have millions of subscribers on YouTube. Both have millions of subscribers in other social media platforms. Pool interviewed Trump on his podcast in May. Didn't you interview Trump too, Caitlin? Shout out to Mark Dice for shooting me a text message about this story. Of course, the mainstream media is in overdrive, and we wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. We've got a tweet thread that's going viral right now. It's got 41,000 views as of this report. Tim Pool and Benny Johnson are now the targets of Mightiest News smear campaign, alleging that their new platform, TENET Media, is part of a Russian propaganda scheme. What are the real facts behind the accusations? Well, according to Mightiest News, a left-wing outlet infamous for attacking conservative voices, TENET Media, featuring Johnson, Pool, Lauren Southern, and others, was secretly funded by Russia Today, Russia's state-controlled media. Big claims, but what is the evidence? Now, the DOJ indictment, unsealed today, names 2 Russian nationals, accusing them of funneling $10 million to TENET Media. Allegedly, this money was used to produce pro-Russian content. But here's where things get sketchy, my friends. TENET Media, owned by Lauren Chen, you might know her as Roaming Millennial, or the Lauren Chen on X, her husband, Liam Donovan, they're an independent platform featuring top conservative commentators, and according to the DOJ, the money was funneled without the commentators knowing the source. Mightiest News is quick to point fingers. How do you even say that? Midas? Whatever. But let's not forget, this is the same outlet that regularly runs hit pieces against conservative personalities. Their bias in reporting is no secret. This latest smear follows a well-worn pattern. The indictment claims that TENET Media received Russian funds through a network of shell companies in Turkey, UAE, but does receiving money, foreign money, unbeknownst to the creators, automatically mean that they're involved in propaganda? No, it doesn't. In fact, Johnson and Pool are only accused of being unknowing participants in the scheme, and the DOJ is not alleging direct collaboration or intentional wrongdoing on their part, yet they spin this as a full-blown scandal. Now, for years, Russia Today has sought ways to influence U.S. public opinion, but targeting popular conservative voices without solid proof is a dangerous game. Benny Johnson and Tim Pool, they were creating independent content long before TENET was even formed. I was even approached to hire Tim Pool years and years ago. I wonder what would have happened if I did, but we didn't hire him. We didn't have a need for a man-on-the-ground reporter at the time. Now, Mightiest claims that TENET Media is covertly working to spread Russian propaganda, but ironically, the content created by Johnson and Pool is entirely focused on U.S. domestic issues like inflation, immigration, and free speech, hardly Russian talking points. The DOJ also alleges that TENET used shell companies to hide funding sources, but without proof of direct involvement from Johnson, Pool, or other creators. This simply reads as guilt by association. Where is the accountability for those actually at fault? Now, Mightiest News conveniently ignores that TENET Media is an independent company owned by Shannon Donovan, not some Kremlin puppet. So the smear seems like a desperate attempt to discredit rising conservative voices who threaten the mainstream narrative. And let's not forget how Medias routinely overlooks similar influence efforts from the left. They never seem to question their own ties or the media companies funded by left-wing interest groups. It is clearly selective outrage. The DOJ's indictment mentions two unnamed commentators with over 2 million and 1.3 million YouTube subscribers, allegedly Johnson and Poole, but the only thing these numbers confirm is their massive influence, which the left despises. The content at TENET created by Johnson and Poole is aimed at discussing the real problems Americans face. So why would they need foreign money to boost their message? Their success is based on truth and transparency, not propaganda. The real question here is the DOJ indictment more about discrediting successful conservative platforms than about catching real criminals? It would not be the first time we've seen politically motivated investigations. Medias News and their allies are pushing this narrative to undermine TENET Media just as it's gaining traction. Why? Because they can't stand seeing independent right-wing platforms thrive outside corporate control. And according to the DOJ, the funds were intended to create discord on issues like U.S. foreign policy and immigration. Yet the content coming from TENET speaks to the reality of American life, not some Russian-fed narrative. It's clear that Benny Johnson and Tim Poole, along with other commentators on TENET, were unknowingly caught up in something larger, but that does not make them guilty. This is just another attempt by the left to smear the reputation of conservative voices. At the end of the day, this is about silencing free speech and independent thought. Johnson and Poole have stood strong against censorship, and this smear campaign is just another obstacle they will overcome, and the truth will win. Don't let biased outlets like Medias News fool you. Benny Johnson, Tim Poole, and the team at TENET Media will continue to speak the truth despite the attacks, so stay tuned as this story develops. And we have more. I got a little bonus for you, because it's funny how history repeats itself. Next News Network, our channel here, was accused of spreading Russian disinformation right after Trump's 2016 win by the Washington Post, by the New York Times, the Guardian, but we've never been accused of receiving foreign money. So this is a new twist. And here is a couple headlines that broke right after Trump won. These were all targeting our channel specifically. Tim Poole has issued a response, and so has Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson said, a year ago, a media startup pitched my company to provide content as an independent contractor. Our lawyers negotiated a standard arm's-length deal, which was later terminated. We are disturbed by the allegations in today's indictment, which make clear that myself and other influencers were victim of the alleged scheme. My lawyers will handle anyone who suggests otherwise. So here is Tim Poole reacting to the allegations just a few hours ago.
And now I guess this is Tim Week in the news, because I'm just in the news all the time. Now, admittedly, it wasn't my fault that the Harris campaign accused me of calling for what is tantamount to genocide of Democrats. That's a lie, by the way. And we are currently in the process of drafting our formal complaint. We will be filing a lawsuit. But now news broke. The DOJ said that there's this RT employees were covertly funding a U.S. company publishing thousands of videos in furtherance of Russian interests. And it is presumed that company is TENET Media. For those who aren't familiar, this is a new media company, and we license one of our shows, Culture War, to them. And now I'm getting hit up by like everybody in the media. They're emailing me and they're tweeting at me and sending me DMs being like, what's going on with this? Well, I'll make clear immediately in the start of the show. Did you read the indictment? It clearly says that I, as well as the other personalities, were victims. We were deceived by people intentionally to trick us into licensing our content to them. I will add, I have a statement about this, which, you know, we'll launch the full segment, but we never produced anything for them. We had an existing show that was already in production that they licensed distribution for, which meant that the show that we already produced appeared on their network. That was the gist of the deal. So there's no one from their company involved with ours. Their company paid a license fee to broadcast a show that we produce, that we run, that our employees are involved with, and they have nothing to do with. I don't know what, I mean, like politically, you're going to see a bunch of Democrats making claims and all this other stuff. I can't speak for anybody else involved in the company because I don't know what they do or what their jobs are or anything like that. I can just tell you plainly, culture war existed well before the license agreement. It will exist well after the license agreement, and they licensed it for a set period, and that meant that the show appeared on their channel. That's it. Like any other show appearing on any other network, we produce it on our own. So we'll talk about that. And
So there you have it. Tim Pool's response. Of course, the mainstream media already in full attack mode. Libs of TikTok posting this clip. As Trump surges in the polls, the Biden administration is now accusing Russia of interfering in our elections and are taking serious actions to counter it. Yes, it's a story we've heard before.
Officials. Breaking news, the Biden administration taking a series of actions to target what they allege are attempts by Russian-backed actors to manipulate public opinion here in the U.S. ahead of the presidential election, according to two senior U.S. officials. Joining us now is NBC's Ken Delanian. Ken, what more have we learned?
What have we learned?
Jose, this is being described by our sources as a whole-of-government action designed to target Russian propaganda and
a whole-of-government reaction.
Disinformation aimed at interfering in the 2024 election. It is said to include sanctions by the Treasury Department, law enforcement action by the Justice Department, and one of the focuses is on RT, formerly known as Russia Today, that network of Russian government-funded English-language websites and television platforms that was flagged all the way back in 2017 by the U.S. intelligence community as a vehicle for Russian disinformation and election interference. And at that time, the Justice Department required RT to register as a foreign agent. It remains to be seen exactly what actions the U.S. will take against RT today, but this does appear to represent an escalation in the efforts to try to purge the system of Russian propaganda and
escalation. Russian propaganda, dropping the big buzzwords.
Information. What's interesting is that, look, the U.S. has been saying all along that not only Russia, but Iran and China, but particularly Russia, has been consistently trying to manipulate American public opinion with disinformation on social media platforms, use of fake accounts, and through RT, through its state-sponsored platforms, as they did in 2016. The difference now is that there are mechanisms in place, particularly on the social media platforms, to try to stop and flag fake accounts before the influence operations spread too widely. So it remains to be seen what impact this Russian disinformation is having. But nonetheless, this is a stance by the Biden administration to say if you're violating U.S. laws and policies, we're going to come after you. And Attorney General Merrick Garland is expected to chair a meeting of the government's election task force today, this afternoon, with FBI Director Chris Wray and other officials, and he may have public comments to make about this effort.
And we do have those public comments from Merrick Garland today. Here's Simon Ateba, who live streamed the event earlier.
We launched election content as, quote, bogus stories disguised as newsworthy events, close quote. This malign influence campaign has been referred to as doppelganger. The Russian public relations company drove viewers to these websites by deploying influencers and paid social media advertisements. They also created fake social media profiles, posing as U.S. citizens, post comments on social media platforms with links to the sites. According to SDA's records, it actively sought to, quote, eliminate the possibility of detection of the Russian footprint. Both of the schemes I've just discussed make clear the ends to which the Russian government, including at its highest levels, is willing to go to undermine our democratic process. But the enforcement actions I've discussed also make clear that the Justice Department will aggressively counter such efforts. In today's, quote, the explosive device impacted in impeachments, trainings, tabletop for attempts by authoritarian regimes.
Okay, so you get the point. This is the same playbook we heard in 2016. Charlie Kirk coming out. Attorney General Merrick Garland details the Justice Department Election Threat Task Force. The task force is marshaling the full resources of the Justice Department. Merrick Garland says Russia is trying to interfere with the 2024 presidential election. Intelligence agencies are on high alert. Here's CNN, a headline there, U.S. to accuse Russia of trying to influence the 2024 election. And that's what they're doing. The Health Ranger just 8 hours ago, Mike Adams, he said that the DOJ announced a seizure of 32 domains and named 10 specific individuals, all with Russian-sounding names, it appears, claiming they were involved in an influence campaign to interfere with U.S. elections or to overall influence Americans. He says he posts the link below, but let me ask you all a question. Have you heard of any of these companies or websites named our Doppelganger, Anno, Tabak? Does this ring a bell with any of you all? I consider myself very well informed on geopolitics. I've interviewed hundreds of people each year, and I've never heard of any of these names, websites, or people. Of course, I'm aware of the existence of RT and Sputnik. I'm aware of Al Jazeera or the BBC or China Times or major media outlets in China, Mexico, Taiwan, Japan, or Canada. But seriously, never heard of any of the names or organizations. How much influence could they have really had if people like me have never heard of them? Are some of these actually CIA cutouts, straw men to serve the purpose of being taken down so the DOJ can claim Russian interference? A lot to consider here. Curious to hear Kim.com and his take on this. Now, I dove deep into this Justice Department, the press release. I looked at the names he mentioned. I don't recognize any of them either. So, but of course, the Media News article that Mark Dice brought to my attention clearly brought up the fact that Benny Johnson and Tim Pool are now at the center of this, being smeared and connected to this entire campaign. Again, this is a story we have heard time and time again, and the mainstream media is working overdrive to burn this into the minds of the American people. But like I said in my post, in my thread, this is exactly what they did to me back in 2016, right after the election, when they blamed this channel for helping elect Donald Trump. Mainstream media was out in force attacking me. But now they've got a little bit of a different spin on the whole thing. So the attack on TENET Media isn't just about Benny Johnson or Tim Pool. It's about silencing all of us. This is how they operate. Smear, discredit, destroy, but we won't let them win. So keep supporting independent media. Share the show, spread the truth, because if we don't stand up now, who will be left to speak out tomorrow? Stay vigilant, patriots. The fight for free speech is far from over. So what do you think? Is this smear campaign a coordinated effort to silence conservative voices, or just a coincidence? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And now let's get your thoughts in the chat room. Your thoughts on my haircut, actually. Finally got a haircut. Needed one so bad. The amount of gel I have to put in this hair just to keep it in control is crazy. Okay. Let's see. Basically, anything that does not follow the Democrat narrative is Russian disinformation, says Margot. Election interference. Has anyone heard of George Soros? Brian, I don't know what you're talking about. If you want to send me a message on Discord, that'd be fine. Oh, really? On my event? Is that wonderful? No kidding. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, boy. Here we go. Okay, so the same outlet that was attacking Tim Pool is now attacking the event that I'm speaking at tomorrow. Oh, boy. Wow, the coincidence. Wow, how do I get this over so I can show everybody? This is crazy. Where is that? But what are you showing it, Brian? Okay, okay. So, Christian Orthodox Coalition launches with Michael Flynn, a new right-wing group. Christian Orthodox. A new right-wing group called the Christian Orthodox Coalition was just formed as a nonprofit organization. Based in Naples, they will launch their first meeting at Trump Hotel, Chicago this Thursday, September 5th. Tickets are $500 per person. Money is being collected by Win Red, which is Republican equivalent to Act Blue. The leader is Olga Ravasi, excuse me. I actually interviewed her a long time ago right here on this channel. She is listed as the executive director. She heads up Serbians for Trump and privately consults with Douglas McGregor, who actively pushes Russian propaganda on a daily basis. There she is. The president of the board of directors for the group is George Papadopoulos, who's listed on the website as former foreign policy advisor to Ben Carson and Donald Trump. And of course, they go into his whole pleading guilty with the FBI. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a huge Russian. Look at this. Another smear campaign. Wow. Okay, I need to send this to her right away. Brian, can you do me a favor and will you text this? Just use your phone and text it to me, please, because I need to send this to her to make sure she knows this is out there. This came out on the 3rd. Ron Filipowski. I'm willing to bet she's probably already seen this. Wow. Holy cow. Send that to me through a text message, please, right away. Okay, working on it. Thank you. Oh, man, this is so funny. Oh, what they will do. What they will do. First, it's TENET Media. It's Tim Pool. And then Benny Johnson. And then the event that I'm speaking at. I just showed you that picture at the beginning of the show. Brian, how did you find that? Were you just looking at it? Or you went to their website? Because Mark Dice sent me that link to the to the Benny Johnson and TENET Media hit piece, and then I didn't go deeper than the front page. I just saw the article, but had I gone deeper, I would have seen this. Unreal. Wow. I need to send this to her right away. Unreal. Where is it, Brian? Where's that text message? Oh, so okay. Well, you got to use your phone. You got to learn how to use a smartphone, Brian. Brian can do anything when it comes to a computer, but smartphones, no. Okay. Let's while Brian's getting me that text message, there it is. There it is. Holy shit. I can't believe this. Oh, this is funny. Okay. I got to send this to her right now. Okay. I'm going to tag her in the message. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll see if we get a response from her. Okay. Brian, thanks for sharing that with me. Did you just happen to just click on it and you're like, wait, Gary, look. Can they hear you? You can open up your mic if you want. Okay. Wow. Okay, well, we're gonna follow that. How do you even say it? Midas? The Midas touch? Midias? I don't know. Midas touch? Unreal. Not surprising, though. Not surprising at all. Okay, we got to get to our next story while I see if Olga responds to me on. Okay, George Papadopoulos just saw the message. I can see that. You see, like, the little bubble like comes down in the chat window. Yeah, so I can see George Papadopoulos just saw it. Okay. Buckle up, America. We're about to dive into a story that could derail Kamala Harris' entire political career. A hit-and-run incident from her past has resurfaced, and the details are shocking. A young girl left wheelchair-bound, a family silenced, and a politician's ambition that knows no bounds. The mainstream media is running cover, but we've got the facts they don't want you to see. This is not just a traffic incident. It's a cover-up that goes straight to the top. Now, in light of these shocking allegations, it's clear that having evidence is crucial, and that's where our top-rated dash cam comes in. Imagine if Kamala had her dash cam running at that moment. Yeah, she would be found guilty as charged. So just as we're uncovering the truth about Harris's past, this dash cam ensures you're always protected with irrefutable evidence. With 4K Ultra HD night vision, 24/7 recording, it's your silent witness on the road. Don't let anyone twist the narrative of your driving incidents. Visit carvisionx.com for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Protect yourself from potential cover-ups and false accusations. Remember, in a world of spin, video evidence speaks volumes. Now let's get into the heart of this story. Now, initially, I saw the story, and I was reading the comments on the YouTube videos, the reports that we've been doing, and someone brought this up. And they said, Gary, you really need to cover it. So whoever wrote that, this one is for you and all of America that really needs to know this story. Let's dive into it. Kamala Harris hit and run cover-up. The scandal erupts. In the annals of political scandals, Kamala Harris' alleged hit-and-run incident might just take the cake for audacity. How do you get to run over a child and then win a statewide office with no one discussing it? The communist news. Well, here's a scoop that's been simmering under the surface. The incident occurred back in 2011. Kamala Harris, now our vice president, allegedly struck a 13-year-old girl with her car, leaving the scene like a ghost in the night. But here's where it gets spicier. The girl, now wheelchair-bound, claims Harris' team didn't just leave her there. They allegedly intimidated her family into silence. The silence. Now, why isn't the story blown up like a political grenade? Could it be because the victim's mother, who held the key to the story, passed away in 2024, this year? Or maybe it's because our media loves to cherry pick which scandals to amplify. Is the media owned and run by communist sympathizers? I think so. So here we stand, 2024, a vice president whose past actions, if true, scream for accountability. The silence from Harris camp is deafening. Are we to believe that our leaders are above the law? If these allegations hold water, what does it say about the moral compass of our leaders? A hit and run isn't just a traffic violation, it's a moral failing, a betrayal of public trust, and the intimidation felonies for government leaders don't matter. That's political corruption at its finest. And we have a video, a news clip we're going to play for you of the victim in the wheelchair talking about it and saying Kamala Harris's name. Get ready for this. Because it's time for a real investigation, not just whispers on social media, but a thorough, transparent probe. The people deserve to know if their leaders are above the law or if justice truly applies to all. This is not about Kamala Harris. It's about the integrity of our political system. If we let this slide, what is next? This was posted by Truth Patriot, who is now getting a follow from me. And we are going to turn on all notifications from Truth Patriot. 19,000 followers, 19,001. So give Truth Patriot a follow. So you guys ready for this? Here we go.
As I remember,
It happened on the evening of June 7th, 2011, when Alicia and her mother were heading home. A car driving the wrong way down a one-way street headed towards the women crossing the road and hit one of them. The event was forever imprinted in Alicia's memory. After 13 years, she finally decided to share the shocking details about the accident and its culprit.
Well, it happened on the corner of Post Street and Jones Street. Me and my mom were walking home from a movie theater after watching Pirates of the Caribbean. It was getting late and we hurried home because my mom had to wake up early for her work. As I remember, we were crossing the road and out of nowhere a car came out from behind a parked van. We were not expecting this because there is only one-way traffic on Post Street. So we were not expecting anyone to drive from that direction. The car was rushing in the opposite lane and my mom reacted quickly and jumped back. She tugged my arm, but she was too late to save me. And the driver also hit the brakes, but it was also too late. I was just hit in the side and thrown into the road. I fell the curb and it hit my back. And I remember I was laying on the side of the road watching the woman who hit me. And of course, back then, I didn't know that it's Kamala Harris, California Attorney General. At that moment, I just saw a frightened stranger woman. And I was laying and looking at her, and she was sitting on the wheel looking back at me. I heard my mother screaming, and then the woman turned away from me. She started her car and just drove off quickly. And I tried to turn my head and I look at my mom, but that's when the pain overwhelmed me and I just passed out.
As a result of the impact, Alicia suffered injuries to her pelvis, ribs, and spine. Over the next 3 months, the girl had to undergo 11 surgeries. Despite the best efforts of the doctors, she could never walk again. The girl will be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of her days.
Well, I don't remember those days too well. I was at the hospital getting a lot of painkillers, tests, and surgery, so everything was very blurry. I just know that the day after the incident, I saw my mom talking with 2 men who came at the hospital. They were standing outside the room. And when my mom came back to me, I asked her who were those people. She said that the woman who hit me was Kamala Harris, a very powerful woman, and those men were her people. So she was told that if the story gets out, we'll be in very big trouble. And if she loves me, she shouldn't report this or look for any justice. You know, I was really devastated because I know I can't walk no more because of my fractured spine. And my mom was just telling me that I'm alive and this is the most important thing, and that's all that matters.
Kamala Harris served as the Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017. During these years, she often visited San Francisco, where she had previously been a district attorney. She also had a relationship with Willie Brown, who was mayor of San Francisco from 1996 to 2004.
I wanted to go public with my story, but I was so afraid, especially for my mother. And anytime we talk about it, she will be terrified. And I told her that sooner or later I will tell everyone the truth. Now my mom died a few months ago and I was left all alone. Now I have no one to fear for and I cannot remain silent anymore. I used to be able to shut this thought down, but these days every time I turn on the TV or check on the internet, I see the face of the person who has destroyed my life and she laughs all the time. Like, how can she be laughing knowing what she has done to me? And why all these years she never checked on me? And you know, it's like now she's ruining my life for the second time.
The administration of our channel contacted Vice President Harris's office for clarification, but there was no response.
Typical. San Francisco news, right there. People reacting, make it viral. Teddy Kennedy never ran for president because of Chappaquiddick. So yeah, it's kind of important to know these things. That was the old Democrat Party. Now they're commie-crats. This alone should disqualify her from being president or holding any public office, if this is true. And she was probably drunk at the time. Yeah, doesn't Tim Walz have a DUI on his record too? There is no hiding it. Democrats are above the law. They've got away with everything. Bribery, destruction of government documents, money laundering, insider trading, stealing an election, genocide, high treason, assassination attempt of Trump. Not one conviction. They are the law in their minds. Why not with what we see? So, the hit and run of Kamala Harris, the story, it's not just one incident. It's about character. It's about judgment. It's about the abuse of power. If Harris could cover this up, what else is she hiding? So as we head to the 2024 election, remember, this is the person seeking the highest office in the land who allegedly left a young girl broken on the street. America deserves better, so stay informed, stay vigilant, and spread the word. And we want to hear from you. If these allegations are true, should Kamala Harris withdraw from the presidential race? Share your opinion in the comments below. Now let's get your opinions in the chat room. Lori says, this is truly criminal. Wilson says, drunk driving. 2011. Jamie Cunningham seen his mugshot on the internet. I'm not sure whose mugshot you're talking about. Where's Hunter? Maybe it was Hunter, right? Barbara says, this is just messed up. Shows you what kind of person Kamala Harris is. Scott says, she was busy with Montel. Harris went to parties a lot, says Light Connection 1. Trump, America 2024 says Karine has a DUI too. I think we covered a similar story about that a couple months back. Jen says, make this news viral. Yeah. Now, In Simulation says, this has been debunked. The news station doesn't exist, and the girl was a paid illegal. Well, that's something we'll have to dig into. I certainly hope that, wow. We'll have to dig into that for sure. This is getting the Hunter Biden laptop wash. Hit and run Harris. Yeah. So that's what we got for you right there. Our next story of the evening is making big waves. We're going to bring that to you right now. The picture that is going viral across the world. Oh, brother, where art thou? Family drama is hitting the political stage, and it's not pretty. Tim Walz, the man who could be our next vice president, is facing a revolt from his own flesh and blood. His brother Jeff is speaking out, and what he has to say will make your jaw drop, from accusations of poor character to full-blown ideological disagreements. This family feud is exposing cracks in the Democrat ticket. So buckle up, folks. The story goes deeper than you can imagine. Now, family drama can be exhausting, much like the toll that politics takes on our body. That's why Chuck Norris' secret to staying fit at 84 is so relevant. Just as the Walz family shows us the importance of strong values, Chuck reveals how focusing on 3 key factors can combat the effects of aging: feeling decades younger, working out longer, and having energy to spare. Imagine facing political drama with that vitality. You want to know the secret that's keeping Chuck Norris in fighting shape? Watch his video, special video at chuckdefense.com/next. Don't let the stress hold you back. Reclaim your vitality and stand strong, just like Chuck Norris. You'll find the link in the description. So what is the picture that everybody is talking about? Well, here it is. Tim Walz's family from Nebraska, and they are all supporting President Trump. There they are, all sporting Trump, Walls for Trump t-shirts. Look at the whole family. They're all out there. Walls for Trump. That's not a good picture to be showing around. Now this story isn't necessarily new. It's been simmering for several days. Laura Loomer officially broke the story, and the New York Post ran with it. This was the front page of the New York Post just 3 days ago. This morning, New York Post front page, Tim Walz is not the type of character who can be trusted with decisions about the future of the United States, according to his older brother. The stories I could tell. Oh, brother. And Donald Trump actually weighed in on that tonight. Let's see what Donald Trump had to say.
In my view, is early voting's about to start, and I don't know how many Americans are truly familiar with her positions of decriminalizing illegal immigration and free housing, health care, education. Tim Walz wants free college education, legal driver's licenses.
I was so honored today.
And she wants a path to citizenship.
His brother endorsed me.
I saw that.
And his whole family. I saw the picture. And honestly, it was a very nice looking family. But his brother endorsed me, and the whole family endorsed me. I said, who are all the people?
Let me play Kamala.
There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. JD is not weird. He's a solid rock. I happen to be a very solid rock. We're not weird. We're other things, perhaps, but we're not.
Donald Trump getting a kick out of that very picture we just shared with you. Some other pictures floating around. Of course, the memes, they speak for themselves. The Right to Bear memes, Grand Old Memes, a good friend of this channel, posted this. Here is Tim Walz getting a Make America Great Again hat for Christmas from his family. And, of course, we got some subpoenas that are flying to Tim Walz, a fraud investigation. We're going to get to that in a second. Here's another meme from a Donald Trump parody account. Just met with the whole Walz family in Nebraska. They love me. Seem to despise Tim Walz. Thank you for the amazing endorsement. Of course, this is an AI-generated photo. I want to make that very clear, but the message is certainly there. Now, let's get into what Laura Loomer had initially disclosed with this story. Tim Walz's brother Jeff responded to her report by condemning all of Walz's ideology, saying he's thinking about getting on stage at a Trump rally to tell stories about his brother and his poor character. Now, that was 5 days ago. And now this picture that we just shared with you is, I mean, like, she breaks the story. She digs into the accounts. New York Post goes with it. Trump responds. The family takes a picture. I mean, this is amazing from Laura. Continuing. He made a Facebook post in response. Haven't spoken to Tim in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice that he was selected and denied security the days after. Jeff posted about how he's been thinking about telling his story at the Trump rally. I've thought about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. Following Laura's exclusive report about how Jeff Walz, the brother of Tim Walz, donated to President Trump, called out the Biden regime for turning our country into a third world banana republic, the same day Trump was indicted in New York City, Jeff Walz has replied to new comments on his Facebook page on the post I uncovered. In the post, he condemned all of his brother's policies. Jeff, if you're seeing this, I'll be sure your message gets to President Trump. The American people deserve to know the truth about your brother, Tim. And then she does the pitch for the interview. Here is some of the posts here. I haven't spoken to him in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to all of his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice. He was selected and denied security days after. Another post. Help MAGA. Get on stage with President Trump and endorse him. Help save this country. And he responds, I have thought hard about doing something like that. Could you imagine the visual of Tim Walz's brother joining Donald Trump on stage and giving a small speech? Oh man, I would pay on pay-per-view for that. We've just become a third world banana republic. That's what he posted on March 30th of last year, Jeff Walz. Juanita Broderick, this is the best. Don't second guess her. And not just Jeff Walz getting the endorsement from Donald Trump today, but we also have Barack Obama's brother, Malik, coming out. And he doesn't refer to him as Barack. He refers to him as fake ass. Here's a picture he posted, fake ass, when we were brothers. And there you can see Barack and Malik hanging out. I'm not sure exactly where that photo was taken, but he was happy to share it. That was a day ago. 8 hours ago, Ian Yeager posting, breaking, Malik Obama, the brother of Barack Obama, endorses Donald Trump for president. I'm Malik Obama. I'm a registered Republican, and I'm voting for President Donald Trump. And I believe we have the actual post from Malik. I believe I bookmarked it for you guys. Somewhere around here. Aside from that, we also have news that, speaking of endorsements, Liz Cheney endorsing Kamala Harris for president. That's no surprise. That shouldn't shock anybody. And Brian Stelter, he felt that it was important enough to break the news. If you don't know, Brian Stelter is back on CNN. Me, Mark Dice, all the other conservatives, we are celebrating that news. In fact, I responded to Brian Stelter's. I responded to his announcement, letting him know how happy I was that he was back, because we were losing people. There wasn't anyone to fact check on CNN anymore. I mean, you got Dana Bash, you've got Fake Tapper. I mean, they're the only ones left. Don Lemon's out there in the street trying to make viral videos of himself leaving books, littering his books as garbage on New York streets. You've got Chris Cuomo. He's grasping at straws on CNN, complaining about getting censored. I can't believe it. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, just go to my X feed. You'll see it. Chris Cuomo crying about getting censored on social media platforms. Well, welcome to the club, buddy. Welcome to the club. Yeah, he's definitely trying to change his spots. That's hilarious to watch. Going back into the those subpoenas that were sent out today, Tim Walz hit with House subpoenas for records on $250 million in Minnesota over COVID fraud. Also, the House Education and Workforce Committee initiated an investigation into Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for being a national security risk compromised by the CCP. Does that surprise you? After what we just uncovered that happened in New York? Communist Chinese spies in the governor's office? Investigation into China ties. Beyond the fraud allegations, there's significant interest in Walz's longstanding connection with China. Over the years, he's visited China numerous times, including on his honeymoon, and has engaged with Chinese entities. This includes his involvement with educational trips to China for students, which were reportedly funded by the Chinese government. His continuous actions and support of the Chinese Communist Party, especially given his past roles like serving as a fellow Chinese, serving as a, I can't believe I'm reading this. His continuous actions in support of the Chinese Communist Party, especially given his past roles like serving as a fellow at a Chinese institution and speaking at events linked to CCP influence operation. Tim Walz is a national security risk. Does Tim Walz speak Chinese? I'll bet you he does. I bet you he speaks fluent Chinese. We got to find the video. We have to find the video of Walz speaking Chinese. But speaking of videos of Walz, I wasn't going to show this, but I'm going to have to show it. I wasn't going to show it only because there was music on it. But I'm going to show it to you anyway, because you guys need to see this. So this is apparently Tim Walz dancing to Beyonce's song. I'm sorry you have to see this. There he is. I mean, that looks like Tim Walz, man. That looks like Tim Walz. Now, if you look in the background, you can actually see there's like people in like wheelchairs and seniors walking around. Well, I don't know what this place is about. Was it a party? I mean, who does this? I mean, these are videos that you see like girls on TikTok promoting Kamala Harris. But this looks like Tim Walz. I'm sorry, but I wasn't going to show this to you, but I had to. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. So we've got Tim Walz. We got the brother coming out, Brian Stelter, Liz Cheney endorsing Kamala Harris, no surprise, Malik Obama endorsing Trump, and of course Donald Trump reacting to this photograph, which is historic. So the next step is we need to get Tim Walz's brother on the stage with Donald Trump. Are you with me on that? I know you are, because I would love to see it. And I would love to see the Kamala Harris campaign go into damage control over this. So the Walz family drama isn't just tabloid fodder. It's a window into the soul of a potential leader. If Tim Walz can't maintain loyalty within his own family, how can he unite a nation? So as we've seen tonight, the cracks in the Democrat facade, they are widening. So stay tuned to the Next News Network as we continue to expose the truth behind the political theater. Remember, in politics, blood isn't always thicker than water or votes. So what's your take? Does a politician's family drama reflect their ability to lead? Let us know in the comments section. All right, let's check out what you guys are saying in the comments section. Brian sent me a link, apparently. Okay. Exclusive. Me and my old colleague, Abel Yu, spoke to a former colleague and a student, Tim Walz. This is a Twitter link. Let's see if I can just bring it up here. You know, Brian, you could just like maybe DM me these things. That way. Yeah, because then I can just go ahead and pop it open here. Otherwise, I got to bookmark it, and I got to go through all the steps. So let's see here. I just bookmarked it myself. Okay, let's see what Brian just sent me. This is from the Intinium. Exclusive for me and my old colleague, Abel Yu. I spoke to a former colleague and student of Tim Walz at the Chinese high school he taught back in '89. They remembered him being friendly, always had a big smile on his face. Okay. Walls came to the school being their first foreign English teacher assigned by local government as part of their program of improving English education. Colleagues recalled that he loved playing basketball. Okay, loved by the students. Staff called him some kind of name. Okay, so there's not much really here. Nothing damning. If anything, it's probably more glowing about his time in China. So my personal guess is that he. So you're saying, yeah, about the speaking fluent. Yeah, that's what I can draw that he probably speaks fluent Chinese. Would not surprise me at all. So where's the picture? Oh, this is this is the Chinese page, and wow, okay. From the memories of old colleagues in Guangdong to congressional policy records interpreting the stance of Harris partner Walls on China-U.S. relation. This article has been very popular. So you can see the pictures there. There's Walls traveling in China. But yeah, I'm sure he speaks fluent. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Sure, you have a message for me as well on DM. What is that all about? The endorsement is real. The photo is not. Which photo are you talking about? Are you talking about the photo of the family? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, so let's get back into the chat, see what you guys are saying. The video wouldn't surprise me after the one came out on Zelensky on his back, tights and high heels, and whips. Beer 30 Brew review. Kamala speaks fluent Haktua. That's so funny. That's good. That's good. Like Connection says, I believe he has China connections. There's no question about that. He does have Chinese connections. Yeah, Trump America 2024. That was disturbing. I apologize for showing you that video. Let's see. Sure, it's hard for me to follow the thread when I'm looking at chat and I'm looking at messages. So you gotta speak clearly to me in the DMs because I can't. You say I to what? I don't know. Joe Carroll says Trump country is here too. Kennedy's family isn't supporting him. Be careful going down the road on Walls. Well, Sandy, I think there's a difference here. And I'll explain why. Kennedy's family, they're making the rounds on the media, and they're saying that Kennedy's, basically lost his way. So the Kennedy family it's cut differently than these, Midwesterners in Walls's family. Like they want to paint Tim Walls as this like Midwestern coach, and this all around good guy, this dad, drink a beer with him, right? The Kennedy family comes from an elite political background that has entrenched tentacles throughout the entire United States. All their family members have married into strategic relationships with other political parties and people, whatever. So when you have a real average Joe, like someone in the Walls family, perhaps going on stage or giving an interview, I think it's going to resonate differently with the American people than, a seasoned Kennedy cut from the cloth of the elite. That's my take. That's why I think it's different. Okay, let's see what else we got going on in the chat here. Lizette says, lock them all up. Ocean Breeze Salty says, all the Kennedys are horrible. They all did stuff and got away with it. If you're not following us on Rumble yet, make sure you do. Follow us there. Okay. The endorsement is the real photo. The hands are not, Sure You says. The hands are the giveaway. AI does not do hands well and generally adds too few or too many fingers. Noticing details is easy due to my work. So, are you trying to say that the photo of the Walls family is fake? Because the one with him and Trump, with the Walls family and Trump, that was clearly AI. I knew it was AI immediately seeing it. But the one, well, let's just take a look at it. Now, this does not look, Brian, bring it up. This does not look like AI. Personally, if this is the picture you're referring to, this does not look like AI at all. Believe me, I mess around with enough AI. I know the difference. This picture is not AI. No question in my mind. Now, this picture, this is AI. This one is. And I'm not sure which AI generator made it. It could be Grok. I doubt that it would have been Midjourney or anything else, because Midjourney has guardrails that would prevent the word Trump from being used in the generation. But this definitely looks like an AI picture. I mean, it is, because we know that Trump didn't actually meet with the Walls family. And he said it in his talk with Hannity that he saw the picture and he saw their endorsement. If he said, if he actually met with them, then he would have clearly made that point clear. But this is also from a Donald Trump parody account. Okay. Sure You says, I can always be wrong on things. I'm not familiar with Grok. Grok is the X premium AI image generator. Does a really good job creating images. It doesn't always get faces correctly, but it gets hands pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, where are we at? We did the hit and run. And we did the Walls Trump. Okay, we got to do all the polling now. Okay. We've got the polling, and then we've got the interview shortly thereafter. We got the music video. We got the crypto. So, okay, let's get into that next story here. The numbers are in, folks, and they are sending shockwaves throughout the political establishment. Donald Trump is surging in the polls, and the left is in full panic mode. We've got the video from CNN to prove it. From unexpected endorsements to a booming MAGA cryptocurrency that has just hit the scene, the Trump train is picking up steam. But here's what they don't want you to know. This is not just about numbers, it's about a movement that is reshaping America. So stick around as we break down the data that they're trying to hide from you. So as Trump surges in the polls, many Americans are feeling a renewed sense of hope. But for those still struggling with chronic pain, hope can seem distant. That is where Conalidine comes in. This revolutionary, 100% drug-free pain reliever is changing lives, just as these poll numbers are changing the political landscape. It's used by over 1 million Americans, and it optimizes your body's natural pain-fighting abilities. Don't let pain hold you back from celebrating this political shift. Click the link in the description for an exclusive discount, less than $1 a day. Try it risk-free for 90 days. Visit trykano.com/NNN now and join the movement towards a pain-free, politically energized future. Okay, so what is CNN saying right now? Yes, CNN is forced to report the numbers that they solicit time and time again. I know they do it by biting their tongue. Let's hear what CNN had to say today. Let's get that volume up.
If you look at the white voters without college degrees, this is a Trump base constituency, obviously. You see his huge numbers with this group. You see that this is a trouble sign for Harris. She also, in a place like Georgia, is not doing well with white college-educated voters. She probably wants to make up some ground with white college-educated voters across these battlegrounds as well, Kate.
An important gut check for both campaigns and on multiple levels in multiple states is what's coming out here. It's great to see you, David. Thank you.
Gut check for Kamala Harris right there on CNN. Here's another one. Decision Desk HQ, Georgia election forecast. Presidential chance of winning Trump 59% to 41%. Presidential poll average of 20 polls has got Harris up by 0.4%. But look at that. Chance of winning Georgia, 59 to 41%. They got to really amplify that, the cheat down there in Georgia. They did it once before. And let's see what else we've got here. Lots of big polls coming in. Trump is continuing to surge in the polls. Donald Trump actually tweeted out this picture earlier today. Surging in the polls, keep fighting, keep registering people. The picture, the big picture, who is favored to win the presidency? Look at this. Chance each candidate has of winning the Electoral College or the popular vote in the 2024 election, and our best predictions of the outcome based on 40,000 simulations of the model. Electoral College probability, Trump is at 56.7%. That is huge. Now, they are showing that Kamala would win the popular vote. Predicted electoral votes for Trump, 272.9. Predicted popular vote share, 48.8 to Kamala's 50%. So it looks like Donald Trump is in the lead. Once again, the honeymoon is over for Kamala Harris, with Donald Trump pulling far ahead at 56%. 56.7%. But that doesn't mean we're going to get lazy. We're going to just get relaxed. We have to continue to fight and move forward. And don't think, oh, he's going to win, I'm not going to vote. You better go vote. Go register, people. Get out there. Support the candidate and vote. A new cryptocurrency, we got some more polling data, but a new cryptocurrency just launched too. Remember that music video we played for you the other day? Went viral. Top Doge. August 16th, we presented this music video for you. And you know what? It's funny. I wake up sometimes and I hear this music video in my head. It's amazing. In fact, he actually recut the video and he used our YouTube video to set it up. But he's also launched a cryptocurrency 3 hours ago. He says, thank you to everyone for the truly unbelievable Trump's Fight coin pre-sale. They sold out in one day, raising $300,000 in market cap. The number one coin on Gempad, Fight, Fight, Fight. The pre-sale went live just 2 days ago. And a day ago, they said mission accomplished. Pre-sale filled in less than 24 hours. Thanks for the support. That's a huge deal. Now, if you follow the crypto world, there's a lot of coins out there, but for one to break, to break it, 300,000 market cap on the pre-sale, that's a big deal. Okay, so continuing into the polling numbers, getting back to that, we got crowd sizes here. We'll take a look at that. Okay, here's one. AJ Hasley, I have a strange feeling Trump is destroying Kamala. Polymarket betting odds and Nate's silver model is favoring Trump and looking better for him by the day. Polls are pretty much tied. Democrats blaming Russia already. We covered that. Remember, they're going after Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, Tenet Media. They're already going after conservatives, just like they went after me in 2017. Nate Silver's model is favoring Trump and looking better for him by the day. Polls are pretty much tied. Democrats blaming Russia already. Harris campaigning in Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Virginia, which are blue states. She's campaigning in blue states. What does that tell you? It tells you Kamala Harris is nervous. If you are campaigning in solid blue states, you got some internal polling that says you're going to lose those states. You better shore up the base. That's why she's there. Sportsbet.com. Tom Flynn states it's strange. Sportsbet showing Trump as a narrow favorite. But he points that most polls are showing Harris slightly ahead. I'm wondering which polls he's looking at. Political polls 4 hours ago, a new general election poll shows Oklahoma, Trump at 56%, Harris at 40%, up 16 points. That's huge. Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen Reports went on the War Room this morning to talk about the fake polls. Trump is still winning nationally by 2 points, according to their polling. Despite all the media love and DNC, they can't even get Harris to Hillary Clinton territory. Remember that? Remember when all the polls said that Hillary Clinton was going to win 2016? It was going to be a landslide for Hillary. They had fireworks, they had a massive, massive celebration ready for her. And then she didn't even show up. She didn't even show up to give a speech to her people that night. She just went and got drunk on a bottle of wine and cried in her closet. Left all those people in the stands nationwide, abandoning all those people. That just shows you how Hillary Clinton feels about her supporters. But they can't even get the numbers up to Hillary Clinton level falsehoods, I guess if you want to call it that. Political polls, new winner model, Nate Silver. Donald, maybe this was the one that Trump posted. The big picture, who is favored to win the presidency? The Silver Bulletin. Trump at 58%. 58.2%, Harris at 41%. The big picture. And if you didn't see this, let's take a look at some of these. Do you see these buses? Yeah. CBS Boston called out Kamala Harris. We're going to show you what they had to say, but first look at these buses. This video was posted by Gunther Eagleman, making the rounds. You can't make this up. A video taken showing 12 buses leaving the Harris event. I'll say it before, I'll say it again. Nobody actually likes Kamala Harris. Look at all these buses.
And there they fucking are.
Look at all the buses. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. These buses are probably full of union members doing their duty. Or organizations. Not just unions, but organizations that Democrats have control over. Because that's what they do. They go and they get their hand into organizations. They get the organizations to latch onto the Democrat Party. And then they say, you got to bring all your people to this organization, to this event. That's why you see people always wearing the same types of shirts or hats. So this is the Yankee bus line. This was leaving the Trump rally. Now, that was apparently in New Hampshire. Taking a quick look, yes. Or maybe it was Boston. Let's take a look at what the Boston clip had to say. Maybe they'll reference that. Let's take a look.
Supporters. Well, behind me, hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses. This was a departure for Kamala Harris, leaving toss-up states to come to New Hampshire. Well, behind me, hundreds
toss-up states. So Trump gets 10 times more that, and the fake polls would have you believe that she's leading. Here's a couple pictures. You've seen these before. Look at these. Look at these Trump rallies. Absolutely insane, these outdoor rallies he holds. And he can have this type of event at an outdoor rally because you can hold more people. You're not confined to the 20 or 30,000 that a stadium can hold. These places, 50, 60, 70, 100,000 people. Remember that shooter? That was an outdoor event. And what's the first thing they said after that shooter? Don't do any more outdoor events. Take another look here at the okay, so here is a Kamala's, this is posted by Kamala's Wins. That's one of the Twitter accounts that Kamala Harris, her team, runs. While the media claims Democrats lack enthusiasm, this is the crowd who showed up for Kamala Harris' rally in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Retweet to make sure all Americans know. What do you guys see? What do you see in this picture? That's a pretty compressed crowd. And it is definitely not the open crowd that I just showed you in those other pictures. I would say that is a tenth of the size of a Trump rally. And what do? They corral everybody in. They get them all close to the front. They make it so that it looks tighter, it looks more compressed, it looks like there's more people there. It's just better for the optics. So that X accounts like Kamala's Wins can brag about it. Compared directly to this? Come on now. Look at, I'm zooming into this the stands are enormous. Sorry if it's blurry. We're doing the best we can, but look at these people. Absolute contrast compared to Kamala Harris's events. Going back to some of the polling here. The hosts of LFS6B take a look at what the polls are saying about Trump's position. Let's listen. This is from Real America's Voice.
But here's CNN talking exactly about this and seemingly starting to understand that Trump may be in a lot better position than some people think.
If you look at the white voters without college degrees, this is a Trump-based constituency, obviously. You see his huge numbers with this group. You see that this is a trouble sign for Harris. She also, in a place like Georgia, is not doing well with white college-educated voters. She probably wants to make up some ground with white college-educated voters across these battlegrounds as well, Kate.
An important gut check for both campaigns and on multiple levels in multiple states is what's coming out here. It's great to see you, David.
Yeah. David Shell, that's who that is.
I feel the same thing you do. They're in panic mode. That's why they're bringing the Russia nonsense back. I think to say, well, we can't really certify this election. The Russians are all over it. We're going to have to. Or just say, hey, man, the Russians got the machines. We can't hold an election. So to save democracy, we're going to skip election day. There's a real stink badger in the perfume aisle here. I think it's one of those two things. But I think they realize now she's a ghost. She's dead in the water. Yeah. And Walz is he's no help. He's an anchor.
But he
is an anchor. Now, if you don't remember that song that we played for you the other day, that went totally viral. Like, that video got over 100,000 views. And these are the guys that launched this new crypto. Again, that crypto it's money sign Trump's fight. And he actually gave me some crypto. He's like, hey, man, he's like, thanks for promoting my song. I'm like, I just promoted the song because I like the song. I thought it was great content. Let's share it with people. And he said, as a show of thanks, here's some crypto coins. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take them. So let's go ahead and roll this. Brian, you can bring it up full screen for everybody. We'll enjoy this music, and then we'll close out this segment.
I stand before you in this arena only by the grace of Almighty God. They didn't know I was looking out. They thought it was over, but I could see it. I wanted to do something to let them know I was okay. I raised my right arm, looked at the thousands and thousands of people that were breathlessly waiting, and started shouting, fight, fight, fight.
They let him by 100 yards in sight. Angel on his shoulders turned his head so slight. Blood streaming, he saw God in the light. He said, don't get back and fight, fight, fight. Who let him by 100 yards in sight? Angel on his shoulders turned his head so slight. Blood streaming, he saw God in the light. He said, Donald, get up and fight, fight, fight. Who let him by 100 yards in sight? Angel on his shoulders turned his head so slight. Blood streaming, he saw God in the light. He said, Donald, get up and fight, fight, fight. Many years ago we all had the American dream. Now we all hate each other so much it seems. Race versus race, men and women live alone, while they robbed us all of ever owning our own home. Is the devil real? Is someone pulling the strings? Maybe the man on the news lies about some things. Is the devil real? Is someone pulling the strings? Maybe the man on the news lies about some things. Sight. Angel on his shoulders turned his head so slight. Blood streaming, he saw God in the light. He said, Donald, get up and fight, fight, fight. Who let him by 100 yards in sight? Angel on his shoulders turned his head so slight. Blood streaming, he saw God in the light. He said, Donald, get up and fight, fight, fight. Who's the devil real? Someone call in sight. Angel on his shoulders turned his head so slight. Blood streaming, he saw God in the light. He said, Donald, get up and fight, fight, fight.
I stand
so much happening
before you
from Top Doge. If you're not following him on X, you need to do that and check out his website. It's linked in his bio. Check out his new Trump coin. I am a proud recipient of some. So, the surge in Trump's poll numbers is not just a statistical blip. It's a referendum on the failed policies of the current administration. So, as we've seen tonight from Georgia to Oklahoma, Americans are waking up. The silent majority is finding its voice. So keep watching the Next News Network for the latest updates, because this race is far from over. Remember, it's not just about numbers, it's about the future of our nation. So here's a question for you. What do you think is driving Trump's surge in the polls? Share your analysis in the comments below. Now, before we get to our big interview of the night, I want to see your comments on the poll numbers and the crowds, the buses from that last report. I love the song, God Be With Trump. It is a great song. It really is. I got to say. Like, I woke up one morning and I could just hear it. I saw God in the light, man. I want to like cry. I get choked up, man. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You know? And I get blasted by the media for that. You know, when we got demonetized, I came here, sat at this desk, said a prayer, and I cried. Newsweek decided they were going to Next News Network, Gary Franchi cries. I even went on Elijah Schaefer's live show, went into the chat room, and I was getting roasted in the chat because of my emotion. But my supporters came through that day. And my supporters came through, and at the end we won. But we haven't won yet. We still have to get remonetized. We have to get this this situation in Texas. We got to get the information from Google to figure out what happened. And we got to get remonetized. That's why we ask for your support. That's why we ask for your donations. We need your support. I'm not honestly sure how much longer we can continue this. I've got other projects that are not related to this that are helping to fund this program. But we need your support, sincerely. So the links are in the description. Brian, I hope that they're there. I hope you put them there today. Okay, back to the comments. He's running against the media. Harris is a clogged toilet. The Kamala Walls CNN interview was a disaster of epic proportions. Yep. Juan is crying too. Yeah. Scott says, you're human. We're all human, man. You got to love that song. Greg brings up a point that is quite often brought up. Remember Nancy explaining the wrap-up smear? Well, pollsters do wrap-up polls, propaganda. Goebbels would be proud. Yeah. Taz says, real men cry, brother. Dragon Lord says, I love the catchy tune. I think there's hope for America. Not everyone will be fooled 100% of the time. Marshmallow says, bought and paid for buses. She has no audience if she doesn't bus them in. Isaiah 14:27, even all the darkness cannot stop that which God has ordained. Trump Vance 2024. Garrett says he is completely and utterly sovereign. Yay, good song. I am so grateful. I just plant seeds. Taz says, I cried when I heard that song. Yeah. I get choked up thinking about it. Okay, let's get to our interview. And I'm going to tell you, there was a little bit of a curveball thrown at me during this interview. So you got to watch for it. Okay? Just watch for it. Hold on to your seats because we've got an exclusive that's going to rock Hollywood to its core. A former TMZ star has defected to Team Trump, and he's not holding back. From the liberal echo chambers of Tinseltown to the front lines of the MAGA movement, this insider's journey is a wake-up call for America. He's naming names, exposing hypocrisy, and revealing the truth about the entertainment industry's political machine. You will not believe what he has to say. Now, just as this former TMZ star has found the courage to speak out, We at the Next News Network continue our fight to bring you the truth. For over 20 months, we have faced demonetization and dismissal by mainstream platforms, but like our Hollywood insider, we refuse to be silenced. The battle for America's soul is intensifying, and your support is crucial. Every donation helps us challenge the narratives threatening to tear our nation apart. As more voices join the MAGA movement, help us amplify their stories. The links to support us are in the description below. Together, we can keep the flame of truth burning bright and continue exposing Hollywood's political machinations. Now, the interview. Good evening, viewers. Tonight, we're bringing you an interview that's bound to raise eyebrows from Hollywood to Washington, D.C. Our guest is a familiar face to many of you, Tommy Gabriel. He's the sharp-tongued commentator who's been dishing out celebrity gossip on TMZ since 2016. But Tommy's not here just to talk about the latest star scandals. No, he is about to drop a bombshell of his own. In a move that's sure to shock many of his fans, Tommy Gabriel has not only left the Democrat Party, he has become a vocal conservative. And tonight, he's here to tell us why, in his own words, why he joined the right. So now this isn't just another celebrity sharing a political opinion. Tommy's journey from the heart of liberal Hollywood to embracing conservative values is a story that touches on some of the most pressing issues facing our divided nation. How does someone navigate such a dramatic shift in a town where liberal politics are as common as Botox? What price has he paid for speaking out, and what can his experience tell us about the changing political landscape in America? Well, he started his social media career back in 2014, quickly gaining attention for his witty commentary, but it's his talent for straight talk that's on display tonight as he opens up about his political and religious beliefs, the public reaction to the shift, and the life-changing experiences that led him to this point. So whether you know Tommy from his TMZ days or you're just tuning in to hear a unique perspective on our nation's political divide, buckle up. We're about to have a conversation that's as entertaining as it is thought-provoking. Tommy Gabriel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Tommy, you know, you're known for your celebrity commentary on TMZ Live, so let's just cut right into it. What made you want to speak out about your political and religious beliefs now?
Yeah, it honestly started I just got tired of seeing what has been going on lately with many different factors, from the migrants to just inflation and just so many different things that have been going on, that just I needed to speak out. I needed to talk about it.
So walk us through the journey from how you went from being a Democrat to joining the conservative movement.
Yeah, so basically I was liberal by default. I kind of just went with the mainstream and kind of just vibed with that. And then I started questioning more things, and people weren't really giving me the answers that I were wanting. And then eventually it just kind of snowballed into doing more research, you know, from PragerU to Charlie Kirk and just other conservative views. And I just started to just lean more into that and learn more. And I said, you know what, that makes a lot more sense than what the left is doing.
So was there a specific moment or event that served as your tipping point on your political transformation?
Yes, it was the Trump assassination attempt.
Wow.
That is what really kind of got me, like, why is the left saying these horrible things, wishing death and harm and all this type of stuff, you know, to anyone, you know, no matter who you are politically. But that really just opened my eyes and go, something isn't right here. Why are we not seeing this as a problem? And, you know, the right was very supportive and very upset about what happened in like a normal reaction. So that was another thing that I just kind of spotted out.
Yeah. Where were you when that happened?
I was home, I was working, and it was front page on everything. And I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And I stopped everything and I tuned in.
Yeah, it was a pretty dramatic moment for everybody, especially those who were watching live. I personally opened up my X feed and I suddenly saw all these posts, and then I saw the replay over and over again, and I just couldn't believe what was occurring. Absolute miracle that he survived that day. There's no question. So I'm sure that you're not alone in that moment of transformation, but how has the public, especially your followers from your TMZ days, how have they reacted to your shift in political beliefs? Do they even know fully yet?
No, they don't fully know yet. This will be kind of breaking the news to them. So, hi, here's the news. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a mixed response. I know some people are going to be excited for it, and then there's going to be some that are not. I have been a little bit more vocal about my Trump-related posts, and some people from other media organizations that I am peers with are unfollowing me. So I don't know if that's gonna snowball, or if I'm gonna gain, or who knows what's gonna happen after this. But I don't really care. I'm gonna speak my mind and my views, and if you like it, cool. If you don't, oh well.
Well, let me be the first to welcome you into the MAGA movement. We have big hearts and we have long arms, and we are certainly happy to have you here. Unfortunately, there are so many instances and moments that just trigger the left into these knee-jerk reactions. Like you said, a lot of people are unfollowing you, and that's really unfortunate. And I've been doing this for 20 years, and back in 2016, when Donald Trump really came to the foreground in his political campaign, I can point to a number of instances where friends, close friends, family members would just unfollow me or would just block me on social media because they were fed a certain line, a certain narrative from the mainstream media. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26. So did you vote in the last election?
Yes, I did.
And did you vote for Joe Biden?
I did.
You did. Now, what was your impression of Donald Trump then? Obviously, you voted for Biden, so there was a media narrative that's always been spun about Donald Trump, that he's a racist and that he hates everybody and he's just a big bad orange guy. Compare your awakening with respect to that media narrative and what you feel about the media narrative now.
That's a really great question, and I have to say it's definitely changed, obviously, in a more positive standpoint. There's so much lies. There are lies and just things that just don't make sense. You break it down and go, okay, well, you're saying that he's a bigot, he's a liar, he's all these things. Okay, you break it down and it's like, that's not what's going on. And they're just feeding it and they're just twisting the narrative however way that they want. I don't know what else to say other than I'm glad I'm on the other side of this.
Well, definitely glad to have you here. But again, it is unfortunate that there can't be more discussion. There's so much censorship and cancel culture and people blocking and unfollowing that they are closing their ears to dialogue. And that's really what this country needs more of. As we spoke to a Texas senator yesterday about censorship and how social media is manipulating search results and algorithms to fit a specific narrative. But he's advocating for more voices. And I think that with more voices and more open dialogue, we can actually heal a lot of these divides. Because when you shut down one side of the conversation, then you have all this pent-up aggression, and those people's voices aren't heard. And that's when real problems begin. Now, speaking of liberal narratives, you've been in the heart of liberal Hollywood for years. So how has your political coming out affected your relationships in the industry? You mentioned people already starting to unfollow you, but can you tell us any more?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've gotten people, DMing me saying, is this true? Is this real? Like, are you really a Trump supporter now? And just overall, like, what's happening? And they kind of just are confused. But hopefully this interview will bring some more clarity to that. But they're unfollowing me. I don't know what's going to happen next. I haven't lost any sponsorships or any brand deals from my, me being vocal about who I support. So that's good. And, my close friends are very supportive and family. So I'm happy with that. But with online, you're going to get people that are going to like you no matter, they're going to like you or they're going to hate you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's engagement. So
can you tell us a little bit about some of the work you've done in TMZ and some of the other outlets that you've worked for?
Yeah, so TMZ, I was a live commentator. They found me back in high school when I was a senior. They wanted me on there. They liked my vibe, and I went on there, and it kind of snowballed from there, opening up other opportunities, being in an Amazon series and different other publications like Patch and Newsbreak, and just kind of opening up and just getting my commentary and my voice out there about celebrity gossip and pop culture. And now there's going to be a little bit more of a twist. There's going to be, a political commentary as well. So I look forward to that and the new journey with that, and connect with other media outlets that are on the right. I look forward to connecting.
Are there any memorable moments that you can share with us? Of course, TMZ, they have some pretty outrageous stories running into celebrities. A lot of times they're at airports, they're getting into cars, they're carrying luggage. Other moments, walking out of a restaurant or getting into a car, whatever it may be. Any notable moments you can share with us?
Well, there was this one time when Kylie Jenner was actually leaving somewhere at one point, and she ended up dropping her phone, and someone ended up taking the phone and running off with it. So they had her security basically hunt him down and everything like that. And the crazy thing is Kris Jenner, the media mogul that she is, she did not let that story come out to light, but we knew about it from the newsroom floor when it happened.
Why wouldn't she want? She lost her phone. I mean, it's not like it's a deal-breaking story. Why would they be so? I mean, there's a lot of reasons that celebrities try to hide things from the people, but I can't imagine why that one would be a deal-breaker.
I know. It's a little weird. It doesn't make sense, but that was something that they hid. But now you know it.
Yeah. Now, many people might assume that someone in the entertainment world would naturally lean left. So, why do you think you were drawn to conservative values?
Mainly because, like I said, I just wanted to see what the other side had to say. Like I said, I was on the left by default, so I didn't know any other value or view. And the conservative value just made more sense to me, on abortion and, other rights and things like that just made more sense to me. I had my own views privately, but I never vocally spoke about them. So there was some things that I always agreed with the right that I never really vocaled on, like immigration and the border and that type of thing. So, yeah.
So a lot of times there's an underground conservative movement in Hollywood. We know about it. And a lot of times people don't want to speak out. They're just afraid because they're going to get blacklisted. Did that cross your mind when you decided to make this public announcement of your political shift?
No, just because if you're going to be entertained by my content and you're not going to care who I'm for politically. I think my content's going to speak volume enough where that's not going to matter. And if it is going to matter, it's just going to be a benefit. But I'm not worried about what the future brings because of this. I think it's going to be a positive one and a motivating one. I'm gay and I came out and I dealt with the backlash of people not liking me because I was gay. And I've dealt with that, and I've dealt with a lot of other things, with bullying and harassment before. So it's just more noise that is just at the end, just noise.
Okay, so here's a question for you. You had to come out of the closet at some point, right?
Yes.
Right? As a gay man. What was harder? Coming out of the closet as a gay man or coming out as a Trump supporter?
I would say a Trump supporter.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
Just because there's so much noise that if you're supporting Trump, you're a racist, you're this, you're that, you're all these things, a laundry list of things, and it's like, that's far from the truth. You just have different views.
So now we didn't talk about your sexual orientation before this. I mean, you're just revealing this to me now. I don't make any assumptions on anybody, but it does actually really bring up some interesting points that I can ask you, because one of the things we see in the left's narrative, in the LGBTQ plus community, we see them constantly screaming that Donald Trump is going to remove rights from the LGBTQ community, that they're somehow going to be carted off to camps, and they just make up all these outrageous assumptions. You see the signs, and people lose their minds. But how can you speak to that? I mean, from your perspective?
Yeah, so I'm not concerned about what Trump will do as far as the LGBT rights go. Now, I never aligned with them with a lot of things. I'm a guy that likes guys. I don't really need to advertise it or broadcast it to the world. Obviously, I just disclosed it to you here, but it's not my personality. It's just me.
It doesn't define you as an individual.
Exactly.
Where other people make it part of their absolute identity, and they have to express it outwardly for some reason.
Exactly that, and like the pronouns thing, that's a bunch of garbage as well. Like, I'm not for that either. You're he or she. That's it. That's all it goes down to. So yeah.
Well, you're going to get us canceled just for saying that.
Oops, well, hopefully the views go up.
I'm just kidding. Now, you mentioned religious beliefs earlier. How has your faith played a role in your political journey?
Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of content, TP USA, Turning Point USA, and Charlie Kirk, like I said. But I also discovered this pastor called Lucas Miles, and he really has helped me understand the unknowns that I had with my Christianity and my religion, and it made a lot more sense with the liberal left, and how they really twist a lot of things politically and also religious wise, and also unknowns that I had about death and other things that I didn't know, but I now know from him. It has brought me closer to attending church now, and attending more services and being proud of my religion. Back then I kind of didn't care. I kind of was like, oh yeah, that's on the back burner. I don't really care. But now it's something that I value very much in my life.
Now, how do you approach conservatism from the gay perspective specifically? Because a lot of people, or from a Christian perspective, because a lot of people in the Christian community, they would condemn you. They would call you a sinner, and they would say you need to turn your back on that sinful life. And how do you going to church? Of course, is obviously it's enriching for the spirit, for the soul, to have that relationship with God. What do you say to those Christians who might object to your lifestyle now that you're even in this conservative MAGA movement? Because there's going to be people who might not like the fact that you're gay, and I know a lot of gay people who are in the MAGA movement. I mean, they're outspoken, and they're vocal, and they're accepted, and they're very influential people. So, I mean, there's obviously there's factions within factions. So, how would you address that?
Yeah, when it comes down to it, if you don't like me because of me, then I'm sorry. You could click away. I don't really care. I'm still going to be myself, and I'm going to still voice my opinion. And that's really it. Like I said, it doesn't define me as a person. So if you can move past that, great. If you can't, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to change myself.
The one thing that I can say is that if everybody just lived by the motto of love thy neighbor as thyself, we would be in a lot better position in this world. No question.
Absolutely.
Because we are all brothers and sisters in Christ, and we just have to love one another. And that's what it comes down to. So what would you say to, going back to the entertainment side, because you kind of threw me for a loop here with the, I mean, you came out of the closet for MAGA, and then you came out of the closet with me. Hey, whatever. But so you kind of threw me for a side loop here, but a tangent.
I'm testing you.
You're testing me. You certainly are. But that's good. That's good. I'm glad you did that. So going back to the entertainment side, what would you say to individuals in the entertainment industry, or even in the gay community, who might share your views but are afraid to speak out, and you've had the courage to do so?
I would say speak out in your own time and slowly do it, and eventually it will just go full throttle. You'll have that breaking point where you'll just go full throttle and you just not care. Once you take the value out of the words of people that are going to say negative things about you, you're free, and you don't have to worry about what people are going to say. So do it slowly, and eventually you'll hit that tipping point, and you'll just be fully vocal about it and move on from there and just be free. I'm the freest I've ever been. Like nothing. I literally feel so happy and so content with my life that I haven't in a while.
Well, you're not keeping that secret any longer. You can finally live freely and confess where your politics actually lies, and it takes a lot of courage to do that, because the left is so has so much venom, and when they go on the attack, they cause people to just be quiet, and that's where you get the silent majority. Looking back at your time as a Democrat, what do you think the party gets wrong about its supporters in the entertainment industry?
That's a good question. I would say that I don't really know, to be honest. I can't really answer that. I really am not sure.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to have an answer for everything. I mean, that's certainly why we ask the question, is so we can find where the blind spots are.
Of course.
Now let's talk about reconciling your political stance with some of the views that you may have expressed in the past. How do you come to that realization now?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
How do you reconcile your new political stance with some of the views that you may have expressed in the past on TMZ? Like, for example, when you have there's always a clip of a politician, right? And that politician may be espousing a specific viewpoint on camera, on the microphone, on a debate stage, on a commercial, and then 6 years later they're saying something completely different. It happens all the time. So do you have any of those moments that you might want to clarify now?
Not that I can think of, because I have never were vocal about my not conservative, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. But on the left, I never really spoke about anything. I kind of just went with the mainstream, and I kind of just kept it family friendly, and I never really specified anything. So there really is nothing to clarify, because I never really said anything. So this is the first time I'm ever saying anything about politics ever. Really.
Are you familiar with the walkaway movement and Brandon Straka by any chance?
I am. I actually am in contact with him as well. We're supposed to be doing something.
Awesome. That's awesome. I was going to make sure that this interview gets into his hands. I'm sure if you're talking with him, you'll be sending him the link. So please give him my regards. Now, what's been the most surprising or unexpected part of your journey to the right?
That they're understanding, that they're supportive, that they see your values as a person, and you're a person to them. You're not just noise or this or that. You are someone, and they take value with what you do. People that I have on my X page that are following me that are very conservative, they're like, wow, you're young and you've done so much already, like that's amazing, and like keep doing it. And it's like, wow, like I never got that type of support from just strangers like that. My peers and stuff, but not general strangers like this. So you guys are really supportive and really cool people.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful and encouraging to hear. Like I said, we've got big hearts and we've got long arms, and we welcome you and we want to see you succeed. And we want to encourage that progression in your career and being vocal and being another mouthpiece for the conservative movement, for the MAGA movement, for Donald Trump, because we need to get as many people on deck as possible, because this next election it's very, very close. And we're already seeing the marketing of Kamala Harris. We're seeing the astroturfing of events and the fake social media posts that people are getting paid to produce, to create these viral feeds. So again, we definitely encourage you. So what's next for you? Do you see yourself becoming even more involved in political commentary alongside the entertainment world? Or is it just going to go, you're going to go right into it? And where can people watch and keep track of you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on all social platforms as It's Tommy Gabriel. I'm very active on X and Truth Social, as well as, Facebook and Instagram as well. So pick a place and find me there.
Are you on YouTube?
And I am on YouTube as well.
Okay.
So I'm on everything. Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Thank you for having me on here, and I'm really excited to read the comments later.
Yes, it's going to be interesting for sure. Well, we will be broadcasting this, and everyone's going to watch it. The millions of followers we have here, I hope that they welcome you as well. Okay, guys, so no hate in the comments. Welcome Tommy with open arms. Show him that the MAGA movement is actually about love and not about excluding people. Okay, because that's the truth. Tommy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you once again for having me on.
And there you have it, folks. Tommy Gabriel, the man who built his career on Hollywood gossip, has given us a glimpse into a different kind of drama. Yes, the personal and professional upheaval that comes with a dramatic political shift in the public eye. And what do you think about that? He said it was harder to come out as a MAGA Trump supporter than as a gay man. Now that threw me for a loop. Wow. Think about that for a second. So from the bright lights of TMZ to the political spotlight, Tommy's journey, it's a testament to the complex and often surprising nature of personal belief and public persona. His story challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question our assumptions about the entertainment industry, and to consider the courage that it takes to stand up for one's convictions no matter the cost. So as our nation grapples with deep political divisions, voices like Tommy's remind us that people are more than their party affiliations, and that change, however unexpected, is always possible. So thank you, Tommy, for your candor and your courage. I have a feeling we'll be hearing a lot more about you and from you in the future. So the defection of this TMZ star isn't just a personal story, it's a symbol of a larger shift that's happening in America. More and more people are waking up to the lies of the left, and they're not afraid to speak out. This is just the beginning, folks, so keep watching the Next News Network for more exclusive interviews and insider revelations. Remember, in the battle for America's soul, every voice counts. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep fighting for truth. And now we want to hear from you. What was your red pill moment that made you join the Trump train? Share your personal journey in the comments below. All right, let's get to the chat. Yes, you guys saw me. I got thrown for a loop there. No, there wasn't any kind of disclosure. He came out of the closet right there during the interview to me. I mean, of course, he'd come out before, but then I felt that it was actually, it was a great curveball. I really enjoyed it because it allowed me to ask questions I don't normally get to ask individuals. And especially, when you heard Brandon Straka's story. And he said very similar things about it was harder for him to come out as a MAGA Trump supporting conservative rather than a gay man. And that story resonates here with Tommy. So I thought that was pretty cool, sincerely. So what do you guys think? Let's get here. Hilson70, thank you, Tommy, for braving the hatred and coming out as a MAGA supporter. That's on Rumble. Like us on Rumble. Follow us on Rumble. Good interview. Welcome to Trump 2024, says Susan. Dale says, it ain't easy being orange and gay. That's funny. Let's see here. Tommy MAGA says, Mystic Q, man, the comments are flying in. I can't even keep up with them all. I'm a new fan of Tommy Gabriel. He has values and doesn't, says Dragon Lord. Pothead Kenny, Tommy, loved here again. Let's truly give him a Trump welcome. Dale says, he's a good boy. We see that. Rogue says, my new favorite Tommy. Tommy's getting a lot of love. And that's, I really wanted to make sure he knew that. Like, look, man, you're welcome here. Okay? You're welcome here. Abby says, I know a lot of gay people. Most are loving towards their friends and family and also love God. Stay blessed, Tommy. Annie says you should acknowledge your subs on the Electoral College. I'm not sure what that means. That was 5 minutes ago. Millennium Man says Tommy is welcome here. Beer 30 Brew Review. Tommy's struggle supporting Trump took a bit of bravery on his part because what he left is the most toxic of human beings concerning politics. John's Guitar. Nice to see a normal gay guy, if that makes sense. All right, let's check in with the feed and get the latest news from our X feed. Checking in on the latest. Okay, World Bank approves $68 million cross-border bank lifeline for the remote Pacific Islands. 26 seconds ago, the U.S. dollar's decline is gaining speed as anticipated interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve threaten to end the greenback's years-long period of strength. Top pollster finds Trump has a 58% chance of winning the 2024 race. We covered that. That was 2 minutes ago. Trump rakes in $30 million for his campaign in August. That's huge. House Education Committee Chairwoman Virginia Fox subpoenaed Tim Walz's administration related to the largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the nation that stole $250 million in taxpayer funds intended to feed children in need. Oh, well, did you look at that? Geeks and Gamers 2 minutes ago. A coordinated demonetization campaign has been launched against Geeks and Gamers. And we know how that feels. Yes, we do. They got a good channel. I like their channel. We'll send that now. Get it up there. Podcast demands YouTube demonetize Geeks and Gamers. That's ridiculous. 5 minutes ago, Elon Musk, already 500 comments on his post. Mike Lee, Justice Alexandra de Morales is an oxymoron. He banned X because he hates free speech. UK moves to abolish unelected seats in Parliament. Andy Ngo landed an exclusive interview with the man living in the Aurora, Colorado apartment that went viral. In a video showing armed migrants demanding entry, the man says he doesn't know why they came. They also went to other homes in the building. Mike Lee, 43 minutes ago, if the government shuts down over the Democrats' unholy obsession with non-citizen voting, that's on Chuck Schumer. Kudos to Rick Scott. Oh my. WGN News 10 minutes ago. Ex-COO of COVID testing company gets 6 years in prison for embezzling $1.85 million. SGT report 5 minutes ago. A $10 million machine, F-off trader. The Pentagon steals more than that every hour. He was commenting on the report of Benny Johnson and Tim Pool. The $10 million is clearly a reference to the money that was allegedly sent to TENET Media. DeSantis defending Trump. This is all from the following feed. Shall we venture into the For You feed? You never know what you're going to get there. Okay, refresh that baby. Let's see what we have. Have you... Oh, I missed that. That was a Dutch Sense post. A poll. Okay, so the health ranger is asking a question. An honest question. If the DOJ says it's wrong for conservative podcasters to be funded by Russia, what about the many conservative publishers that are clearly funded by Israel? Why do they not have to register with FARA? Or am I not allowed to ask? What is going on here? Wall Street Silver, 38 minutes ago. What is up with her left eye? Look at her eye. What's going on? Her eye is not opening. And she's out there pushing the boosters. Ben Berquam asking about that. Nick Sortor, 2 hours ago, President Trump has won the coin toss for next week's debate on ABC. He's opted to have the final word. Ha ha, Kamala. She's going to get roasted. I can't wait to watch that. I'm wondering if we should do a simulcast. If we should watch the stream, we play the debate live. I'm just worried about the content ID stuff and the stream getting shut down and strikes. That's my only concern. That's why we don't normally do these things. So we would have to find a feed, but it's going to be on ABC. So we'll have to weigh that decision later. Oh, here's the video of supposedly Tim Walz letting loose. Yeah, I'm so sorry, but that clearly looks like Tim Walz, guys. It clearly looks like Tim Walz. We need answers, man. We need answers on this. I mean, given his moves, well, there's all kinds of guys walking around behind him. And they're all like in chaps and in tiny clothes. This looks like it may have been a very flamboyant men's meeting. Look at the guy right there, right behind him. Holy cow. What is going on here? I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. You know, I did not talk about this today. There was another mass shooting at a school We just don't generally talk about those types of events on this channel anymore after so many people got in trouble for just asking questions or just covering it. But the least we can do is say a prayer for those who have lost their lives in Georgia today. Elijah Schaefer, 13 minutes ago, says he's sitting on his couch, 1:29 a.m., patiently waiting for the FBI to raid his home because Russia Today follows him. Huh. I wonder, does Russia Today follow us? Should we find out? Are we gonna get flagged if we go and look? Okay, we'll look. Fine. Russia Today. Okay, here they are. RT.com. Freedom over censorship. Nope, they don't follow us. So I guess we don't have to have the same worry that Elijah has tonight. What's trending? Jesse Waters is trending. Tulsi X Truth is trending. Leaked is trending. Christopher Ray is trending, and so is Shapiro. Is it Ben Shapiro? My guess is it's Ben Shapiro. Let's see. Shapiro doesn't need Putin's money. He's got plenty of his own. It's clearly a reference to the TENET Media situation today. This was an attachment of Russian misinformation, propaganda, want push it. Obviously, Ben Shapiro's on the Putin payroll. Below is the attachment. He who pushed this agenda is in it for Russia. So someone's claiming here 3 minutes ago that it was Ben Shapiro? I don't see anything that's related to Ben Shapiro in that posting. What else is trending now? Russian Liz Cheney, the FBI. Okay, go back to the For You tab and let's see if we can find some more spicy news before we call it a night here. It's getting late. Oh my goodness, Health Rangers posting this too. Oh man, I am gotta go put some eye wash in. Captain O. Joseph. I'm not even going to try to say your name, Joe. I love you, man. But he said an hour ago, when your entire family gets matching shirts to let the world know how much they hate you, it's time to drop out. There's the picture we showed earlier. A shelter-in-place order was issued 8 minutes ago, Aurora, Colorado. I wonder why. People are still attacking Tim Pool. This whole thing is going to give so much ammunition for people to discredit Tim Pool, to discredit Benny Johnson. That's the whole point of it. They put out these stories and then it's just a pile on. Anonymous, 4 hours ago, Tim Pool outed as a Russian propagandist. I mean, the indictment clearly stated that he had no idea. He was contracted by TENET Media to license his show. The bigger question is the people at the very top of TENET Media, and then those negotiations with the people that paid them $10 million. Were there no red flags? Who are they communicating with? So if this $10 million comes from Russia and it goes through all these different shell companies, they obviously have to have a front man that's going to go and pitch to TENET Media. Who is that front man? Was it one of these Russian people from Russia Today? Or was it somebody else that you would have never suspected? I mean, that's how these things operate. They pick operatives that you would never suspect. Hey, here's $10 million. We want to support your show. And get those guys. We want to license their show. And Tim even said that that there was no messaging that he was told to say. Obviously, they picked Tim because his values, his ideas lined up with their foreign policy agenda. But they call that, pushing Russian propaganda. They did the same thing to me. Because I would report against certain things that were happening in the United States because I disagreed with them. My personal beliefs. And I can't control if that aligns with the foreign policy agenda of another country. Matt Wallace says hazmat troops caught on camera. Martial law is about to be declared. I'm not sure where this is. Should we even look? Okay, we'll head over to Rumble real quick and see what he's talking about. And here's an ad. Go ad free with Rumble Premium. Skip the ad. Another ad? Double ads. I mean, considering all the ads that Rumble has, it's amazing. We make no money on Rumble. I think $150 last month.
Our troops have been spotted all over New York City, and we have videos like the one I'm about to show you coming out that really don't add up. Why is there a hazmat operations truck lining up with a bunch of other emergency vehicles in the middle of the street? Watch this and tell me what you think.
I can't. You see this, man? They ain't playing, man. They get.
I want to show it to you, but I can't because the way the video is. Maybe I can. Hang on.
Ready for martial law. They are getting ready for martial law, homies. See this? Rescue operations, logistics. Look at this. They setting up martial law all over Brooklyn, New York City right now. You see this stuff? Look, you think we kidding? This shit for real, man. It's for real. Look. Look at this. They're everywhere. Set up everywhere. All over. They're getting ready, man, because they know what's coming. Hazmat operations, you see this? This is all New York City Fire Department. Oh, yeah. You see this shit happening, man. They preparing for something big.
I don't know. Maybe they are. We've seen these situations unfold before. Sometimes they're drills. Sometimes they're drills that go live. You never know. And I'm not sure what's going on with this tree. What is going on in that tree? Oh, it looks like they're working on some electrical stuff, and the tree caught on fire. Okay. All right, folks. There you have it. What a night it's been on the Raw feed. We pulled back the curtain on some of the most explosive stories in America right now. We exposed the smear campaign against TENET Media for what it really is, a desperate attempt to silence conservative voices. We uncover the shocking details of Kamala Harris's alleged hit and run, a story that could derail her entire presidential campaign. We dove into the Walls family drama, showing how the deep cracks in the Democrat ticket really run. We also brought you the latest polling data that has the left running scared. And Trump's surge is real, and it is spectacular. Let's not forget our exclusive interview with that former TMZ star who has joined the MAGA movement. His insights into Hollywood's political machine were truly eye-opening. And now I need to level with you, my friends. Shows like this don't come cheap. We're fighting against a mainstream media machine that would love nothing more than to see us silenced, and that's why we need your support. If you value what we do here at the Next News Network, if you want to see real unfiltered news continue, please consider making a donation. The link is in the description below. Now, before we go, I do have some news to remind you of. Tomorrow night, I will be at Trump Tower. Brian, if you could bring up that slide real quick for me. I want to bring up that graphic. The inaugural reception of the Christian Orthodox Coalition. I'll be at Trump Tower with General Mike Flynn, and I'm honored to be a featured speaker alongside George Papadopoulos. And we will be screening a new movie about Hunter Biden. So if you're in the area, come and check us out. My X feed has all of the details. And now a quick heads up. There will not be a show tomorrow night due to this event. And on Friday, our producer, Brian, is heading out on a secret mission to help another conservative influencer who desperately needs his technical expertise. And Brian is also going to teach him how to tie his shoes. Yeah, he's been wearing Velcro for far too long. So we'll see you back on Monday, my friends. Until then, stay vigilant, stay informed, and keep fighting for the truth. And maybe we'll do a show in the morning before we go out to this event at Trump Tower. I got to talk to Brian. Maybe we'll just do something loose. We'll just check the feeds. We'll just hang out for a minute, drink some coffee, do whatever. But until then, stay vigilant, stay informed, and keep fighting for the truth. This is Gary Franchi for the Next News Network signing off. Good night, Patriots.